All right, today's video is going to be about the great dilemma of being 1 foot in and 1 foot out in recovery. I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why that happens and then maybe help you to kind of consider or contemplate why it's so important that you really fully commit. So there's a couple instances why people will sometimes have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, or oftentimes. One of those reasons is because you really want to recover, but you can't justify. You don't feel that you need to. So, a example of this I would think that I see often is like people that don't look what the stereotypical image of someone who has an eating disorder would look like. So therefore, they don't believe that they need to recover, but they really want to. They really want to just be free and over this eating disorder and move on with their lives. So I see, oftentimes, this is the most common one, I oftentimes see that keeps people stuck. That keeps people like flip-flopping back and forth between being committed to recovery and then, after a couple of days of going really strong, start doubting and thinking, maybe I don't, like maybe, why am I doing this? Like maybe I'm just greedy. Maybe I just love food and I'm just addicted to food. I probably don't even have an eating disorder. I mean, look how much I've eaten in the last couple of days. I must not, if I can do that, I probably am just normal. I don't need to recover anymore. I hear this all the time. The other reason, and this is a little more rare, but would be somebody who really needs to recover because of the people around them that are very worried. So this are the people that have this, the typical very emaciated body, don't look well, or family members that know them can tell that they've lost a significant amount of weight compared to what their normal natural body weight is. And so people are on their back, right? And they're really, getting on them to recover, but they don't want to. So they're kind of still in that honeymoon phase, or maybe they're in denial or they're delusional, but they're loving their life. They think they're great. They haven't hit that place where they're like, I'm done. I can't. But they start kind of going through the motions of recovery because, again, the people that know them well, their loved ones, are really pressuring them to recover. So the problem with both of these is there's not congruence, right? There's like either you really want to but you don't feel you need to, or you really need to and you don't feel you want to. The most important thing to remember though, and I can't emphasize this enough, and if you're listening to this and you're like, oh yeah, I'm that person who really wants to but is terrified because I don't feel like I need to. If you have that feeling at all, you do need to recover. You have to get it out of your head that recovery is only for people who look extremely underweight. If you're suppressing your body weight in any way and you're trying to keep it smaller than it naturally wants to be, whatever weight you are now, if you're doing any of those behaviors, you do need to fully commit to recovery. Like that doesn't qualify you then to be like 50% committed to recovery because you don't look like so-and-so over there who's been inpatient 10 times. Like that doesn't matter. And I feel like I talk about this a lot on the videos, but I feel like I say it all day long with my clients as well. So I don't know, maybe another video of me being super clear on this as to why it's so important that you do fully commit and you do go through all the steps and you do treat it just as intensely and as and aggressively as you would if you truly always felt like you needed to, because you do. Again, I have to consistently remind my clients that they do need to recover. And a lot of times that motivation, even if you start thinking, yeah, okay, I need to, like my life's kind of screwed up, it's a little out of proportion with like the eating disorder's kind of taking over and my priorities are a little shifted, my relationship's strained, okay, yeah, I need to do this. And then they commit for like a week, 100%, awesome. And then they think they're fine. And then it's like, yeah, I don't even think I really had a problem. It must be okay. Like, I'm going to move on. And so that keeps people stuck, is that like trying to convince yourself that just because you're doing better or because you've challenged some things that now, you can jump right back into working out and eating like a normal person. But you know that your mental state's still not there. So you have to stay committed. I always tell people what you give in recovery is what you're going to get. So if you're giving 50% commitment level, and you're, one day really committed and the next day you're not, or half the day you are and half the day you aren't, like you're going to get 50% recovered. But 50% recovered is the worst, right? it's absolutely the worst because you haven't rewired anything. You've gained some weight. You're still terrified, if not more terrified than when you started of weight gain, and you feel like you're just stuck in a hard place. And so those people that are listening, they're in that place right now. It's not too late to start day one, as if this is your very first go at recovery, and as if you were absolutely had all the conviction in the world that you needed to recover, and you completely put your weight aside. It does not matter what you weigh. If you have disordered thoughts, if your eating disorder is ruling you and controlling you and just bugging you in any way, it doesn't even have to be ruining your life. If it's just a part of your life that's irritating and you know that your life could be better without it, you have to recover. You have to recover. So hopefully this video was inspiring for those listening, thinking that, you know, they're fooling themselves into thinking that they're recovering, but really they still are listening to the eating disorder quite significantly. If you're one of those people, be very honest with yourself. You have to be accountable in recovery. You have to. Most of the people listening to this video, my followers, are adults. We have to be responsible. You have to look at the places where you're still restricting. As hard as it is, you need to tackle that. You need to go talk to people who you can get in on your recovery and help to support you throughout it. And then set up whatever you need to. Sometimes people think recovering on your own means like asking for no help, never talking to anybody about it, and just putting your head down and doing it. And it's not at all. Like, I had a lot of support in my recovery. I had coaches, I had an awesome husband, I had my siblings, I had my parents a little bit here and there. Like, you don't have to do it by yourself. I do offer coaching. I know I've mentioned that obviously throughout my videos because I talk about the clients that I have, but I do offer coaching, and my coaching isn't set up where it's like you have to sign up for 3 months or 5 months or a month or whatever. It's very much on an as needed basis. So if you're like, I just need a kickstart, I just need to talk to someone to tell me that I can do this, to give me that permission so that I can take that permission and start giving myself that permission. So I have a lot of times where I'll just have like a consultation with a client and talk to them a few times, and they're like well on their way to recovery. They just need that little kick in the butt. So that's why I offer that. And then I have longtime clients that, you know, like from the very first day of recovery till I see them fully recovered, we're working together weekly. So I really, really, really love coaching, and I can't emphasize enough. This isn't really a shameless plug for me because I don't really care what coach you hire. Like, hire someone if you feel like you need help, but I really do